Happy holidays. I hope you are having a beautiful day. Now, shocking details are emerging in regards to Charles Were's death. And this is what we know so far. Charles Ongondo Were knew that his time on this planet is coming to an end soon. And also, Charles Were was linked to the disappearance of a woman by the name Dottie Apondi in 2010. It is said that Charles Were had promised her a job and he took her to Meru, and that was the end of everything. And also, there was an open letter that was written to Charles Were 2 days ago. And in this letter, this person was telling him that he is coming for him. So there is a lot to unpack in regards to his death. First thing first.
I went into a funeral in Godinyango, which after the funeral, the road was blocked. I could not pass. Luckily enough, I had the security. The following day, in a funeral in Yatindo, immediately I arrived there before even praying. One of the notorious criminals who comes from Kachin called a boy stated that I will not talk there. The villagers there were angered. What happened and the process are within investigating agencies.
So, the police have released the latest reports in regards to Charles Were's death. And in the latest report, the police are saying that this was a well-planned mission and it was well executed. Remember, Charles was shot dead yesterday at 7:30 p.m. on Gong Road, Nairobi. And as we speak right now, the police are still doing more or still carrying more investigations into this matter. And I believe that as time goes by, they will give us more details. So another thing that you need to know is that there is this story that was done by the Daily Nation that is in 2019. And in this story, there is a woman, a middle-aged woman by the name Grace Adongo, who was crying for the disappearance of his daughter known by the name Dottie Apondi. So this story was written in 2019, but the incident, the disappearance of Dottie Apondi happened in 2010. So in this story, Grace Apondi, the mother, is alleging that his daughter, Dottie Apondi, was promised a job by the late MP Were, and that the MP took her to Meru. And that was the end of everything. That was the last time her mother saw her. And until 2019, when this story was published, Dottie Apondi was still missing. And up to now, Dottie Apondi is still missing. So the story is linking MP Charles Were, the late, to the disappearance of Dottie Apondi in 2010. Other than that, there is this letter that was an open letter written and was published on a Facebook page by the name Homa Bay County News and Politics. This was an open letter, or rather, this is an open letter that was addressing Charles Were 2 days ago. And in this letter, it is a letter full of cries. It is a letter from a voter who is in so much pain. And in this letter, in summary, before I read it out, is saying that we are coming for you. So let's see what this letter is saying. So let me read it out. So it says, "Dear member of the National Assembly for Kasipul constituents on Ongondo Were, it is no secret that you have little tolerance for those who do not subscribe to a political agenda. However, must the political opposition be met with such hostility and disdain? As Martin Luther King Jr. wisely observed, In quote, the true measure of a man is how he treats those who can do him no good and how he governs his opponents, end of quote. Your methods sadly echo the tyranny of pharaohs, ruling through fear, exclusion, and intimidation. You may cling to power for a time, but know this, no regime, however oppressive, is eternal. Your reign shall inevitably collapse, and the people of Kasipul will rise to reclaim the dignity and harmony that are their right. The drums of change are beating louder with each passing day. As for your close associates, Ras, Jakambare, Fatao, and Nyakwar Ongwang, they will do well to remember that when power deserts them, their malicious deeds will not be forgotten. History will summon them to account, and they will find no shelter from the judgment of the people they oppressed. To the resilient constituency of Kasipul, let us remain steadfast in our resolve. They may attempt to silence us, but they cannot silence all of us. There are no gods. There are mere mortals whose time is running out. Let us be prepared to cast out this rogue regime. Hon Philip Aroko stands ready to lead the restoration of Kasipul, to heal its wound and steer it toward a future founded on justice and unity. The day of reckoning is near. Let us meet it with courage and determination. Quickest recovery, Jahome. So this is an open letter from a voter in Kasipul constituency who is alleging that Charles Were was a man who could not get along with his critics. It is something that we've been witnessing in this regime from the national levels to the county levels. Criticism with these leaders looks like they are not ready for it. So this voter is telling him that, and is like he knew that something is going to happen from the choice of words and the way he ends. I believe he's a man, and this letter looks like he was so sure that Charles Kasipul in the next few days will be no more. And I don't know if it is a coincidence or what can we call it. Now we are talking about a man who is now dead. So Charles, there is a lot of shocking details surrounding this man. I remember also I was going through the social media platforms, and I saw somebody asking Miguna, why are you not mourning the death of Charles Were? And Miguna replied that man was a thug, and Miguna was like, I cannot mourn a thug. So I see people making this tagline being associated with this man, and it looks like some of his people, some of those who elected him, are celebrating. So it is really shocking to learn all these things, because a lot is being said. Some we are yet to verify, but once we have the full details and we verify this information, of course we're going to share it with you. So the MPs are mourning. Raila Odinga was one of the leaders from the Nyanza region who has mourned this man, saying that this was well planned and that it is a big blow to the ODM party. We have several leaders from the Nyanza region who are mourning his death, and so as time goes by, we wait to see what our police officers, what are the DCI are going to say about this. Charles Were is not the first MP to be assassinated while in office. We have others, and this has been happening between 1963 and 2025. So let me just remind you that in 1965 we have Piogama Pinto was the MP. Parklands was eliminated, and then in 1968 Tom Mboya, who was by then the Kisumu town MP. Then in 1975 J.M. Kariuki was the member of parliament, Nyandarua constituency. Then in 2001, we have Tony Ndelinga was the MP Kilome, and then Mugabe Were in 2008 in Embakasi, and then the recent one of George Muchai, I think we all remember this, in 2015 who was the member of parliament Kabete, and now Charles Were in 2025 who was the member of parliament for Kasipul. So far since 1963 to 2025, we have 6 MPs who have been eliminated while in office. It is a tragic, I can say that, because this is a reflection of our security. We cannot, while I'm seeing others are celebrating, recently we've been a country full of shocks and a lot of things. So I see some people are celebrating, but to me, this is a dangerous path we are taking. And this also, somebody is trying to send out a message that all is not well in matters of security. So I'm seeing people are linking this incident with the BBC documentary that was released 2 days ago, and so far has garnered millions of views. The documentary is revealing who killed the young people, the Gen Zs, during the 2024 protest. So some are saying that this is like a state, something to just make people forget about the documentary, because it was really peaking and going viral at a high speed. So some people are saying that the state had to do something. The state had to gear this up. And in this case, they had to choose one of their own. A lot is being said, but we are calling that claims because it is something that people talk. But if you ask me, I think we should all be worried, because if a sitting MP can be eliminated just like that, how safe are we as people who have no arm, who have no securities and all that? And remember, his security and the driver were spared, like nothing happened on them, and they are now okay. It's just that these assailants really targeted this man, and it was Charles. So rest in peace to the people of Kasipul. I know this is I know the mixed reactions that are coming from that constituency, but all in all, we are not supposed to celebrate such killings, because it really reflects back to our security as a nation, to our security as a country. So more details will be emerging, and once we have that in full, we shall be here to discuss these and look into these. So everything is so linked to 2027 elections, and I'm not so surprised that this can also be one of those incidents that is here to welcome the 2027 elections and to send a message out there that don't dare us. It can be. We've witnessed a lot under this regime, and a lot is unfolding, but we cannot keep assuming. There is no coincidences, as they normally say, especially when it comes to politics. That is it from me for now. Thanks for watching. This is Sophia Live.